This video is a recap of the dev interview hosted by OnePeg, who spoke directly with Terrence, the CEO of IronMace, for Dark and Darker. We'll start with the biggest takeaways. Development focus has shifted from content to quality of life over content. This is directly because of Steam Next Fest. It's going to be a giant demo. It's basically a games expo and showing off what you're working on. So they're anticipating a lot of people to kind of catch on to the game. So could be a lot of players. So they're going to focus on kind of polish right now, which is a big difference from what they've done in the past, because they're developing the game. They want to put out content. They want us to test it because they still got to work on things. The dev focus will shift back to content over quality of life in the future playtests. Solo queue has been a hot topic of debate. They're going to test things out with a specific map and a queue system that's separate from the main queuing that we already know and love. The Troll King boss that was teased, it sounds like it's going to be a solo queue only, experience. So do note that if the solo queue is not working as well as they had hoped, they will turn that off, no problem. They'll just flip the switch and solo queue will be gone, even in the middle of the playtest. VoIP was already somewhat confirmed, but now we have concrete confirmation. We'll get it in two ways. Proximity in-game chat, like if you're talking to a random in the game, and even within your own party itself. Very fond of that. I think it's a great idea. Terrence also mentioned that you could probably use VoIP and stealth, or you should be able to use VoIP and stealth, so that'll bring some interesting, funny moments for sure. The team party chat does tie into the next part here, region-based group finder rooms. So essentially, I'm envisioning like you go into like a little mini tavern where people in your in your same region will be in there, and you can inspect them and invite them to your party, which ties into the karma system later. Playtest 5 was pretty much confirmed. I would assume anytime late March or early April, which kind of aligns well with them pushing the early access about late April, early May. B1, which is known as like the top floor, it's a surface level floor, that will be focused on for early access. Skill trees were directly mentioned to not be seen in this next upcoming playtest for February, but that's something I personally expect in like early access at this point. High Roller will have many more incentives. So High Roller had very few, High Roller had a very small percentage of people actually playing that specific queue. And that'll come in the form of, rewards, gear drops, probably gold, treasures, that sort of thing. Yeah, uniques will be High Roller only, and Terrence specifically mentioned the term exciting new uniques that will be tied in with the High Roller bosses. This could be, I instantly think of like named items like Thunder Fury from World of Warcraft, or some crazy, crazy juiced up gear to really get you in there. Early access will be more than likely late April, and he also mentioned early May. April has always been a target time drop for early access since literally playtest 1, so it's nice to get some further confirmation. Bard will not be coming out yet, but this was already said in the text Q&A that was done shortly after playtest 3. Sorcerer class got leaked. I say leaked because it's been known forever that 13 classes will be, implemented as kind of their targets. And you can like refer to Dungeons and Dragons. It kind of seems like they're drawing a lot of inspiration from. And that would be like Bard, Druid, Paladin, Sorcerer, Necromancer, stuff like that. First iteration of the questing system will come in Playtest 5. Playtest 5, again, should be like late March or very early April. I imagine more than likely late March, though. Quality of life changes. There will be improvements in menus and UI. Quantity buying from merchants instead of one at a time, and the trade menu will be cleaned up. Right now, it's kind of like pre-Grand Exchange RuneScape. People are just typing left and right. It's going crazy in there. So I imagine stuff like filters, only linking weapons in the weapon trade channel, kind of stuff like that to clean it up. Ruby Silver. Ruby Silver crafting materials cut in half directly from Terrence himself. So we'll probably see a lot more people wearing Ruby Silver next playtest, which is awesome. That's great. Karma system will be just like an additional tool to help you find, team members and stuff like that. And again, you'll be having region-specific rooms to inspect people's gear and invite them to your party. So team killing will have negative consequence in terms of just like warning people that you might not be very trustworthy, and give you that little extra danger factor, if you will. Gold storage capacity will remain untouched. Not exactly quality of life, but Personally, I like that. They're going to focus more on maybe some economy changes, probably pricing on gear and consumables would be my guess. More cosmetics will be coming. More cosmetics, cool. We'll take those. Balancing changes. So the two-handed swing movement speed penalty was nerfed going into playtest 3, which means like when you swing a big old bardiche, for example, you slow down a ton. So that will be slightly unnerfed, so you'll be a little bit faster during your swing animations. This will be a big thing for like barbarians and fighters and, even spear rangers. The current blocking system, paraphrasing Terrence here, but he basically said to get good. The blocking is intended to be hard and you need to be precise, so they will refine this later on. New weapons will be added. We actually had some leaked information given to us that there will be a few new weapons, not sure what. I believe it was rogue weapon, more than likely wands, and probably some cleric weapons. The cleric weapons are something that I would guess, because it seems they're pretty limited in their options. New skills and spells. So Terrence specifically said only 1 or 2 will be added. Which classes will get those are unknown at the moment. If I were to guess for the spells, it would be the cleric to round them up to 10 spells, because I believe they only have 9 right now. Which opens the door for being able to run double spell memory and bringing 10 spells in. IronMace is big on not crafting a meta. This is something I absolutely love to hear. They want you to play however you want to play, not be, kind of forced into the meta of what truly is, OP or actually viable. So it's nice that they're going to give you, some breathing room to really play how you want and make everything kind of work. Clerics will get their +1 agility, so they've always been missing a stat point, and we're going to get that here moving forward. From the sounds of things, Wizard will not be getting exactly nerfed. We already know magic resistance changes are more than likely going to come into the game, higher base magic resistance and maybe more on gear. The original concept of the Wizard was to be very knowledgeable, know a ton of spells, have a ton of utility and options, basically be multi-purpose. So their first iteration of that, internal testing kind of told them that it was weak compared to other classes. And Terrence directly compared the Wizard to being more like a sorcerer right now, big damage. And that will probably be toned down a little bit. So I don't know if that means we're going to get a bunch of new spells here and maybe the playtest in late March, early April. Or if they're just going to tone down damage across the board and kind of increase other stats. The base stats will be getting a rework, it sounds like. So to me, this sounds like less will, more knowledge, which, ultimately is kind of more damage depending how you look at it, because you're able to cast spells faster. Power curve, aka gear scaling, that's kind of how I interpret it. It sounds like it's not going to be messed with yet, which means you can still run good gear and really pop off. Speculation. So this is kind of just some extra. So I had a few leaks given to me of some inside info, if you will. One of them was being that skill trees will be coming. So basically we're not going to get that. But I was told that skill trees will severely throw off the balancing. It'll change things overnight. Things will become broken, extremely OP with a system like this. So I personally want to see that myself before early access, especially in playtest 5, late March, early April. It would just, I'm no game developer, but to me, it sounds like it would give them a much better idea of what's working and what's not. So that's something I'd really want to see. That way they can, make any changes necessary. Tying into that, balancing changes right now kind of seems like a little bit of wasted effort, since if they balance things in its current state and then add the skill tree later, it's kind of just going to flush everything down the drain that they've been working on. So, but again, I'm no game developer. I'm sure they know exactly what they're doing. I have a lot of faith in IronMace. More gold storage is in the game. It was a thing directly stated after playtest 2 in October that they have bigger gold storage in the game. They haven't put it out for some reason. I'm sure they have plenty of reasons as to why, but referencing a game like Escape from Tarkov, it becomes incredibly stale and inflated like mad towards the end of the wipe. Granted, wipes are about 9 months, so that's all I have for now. There is word that a new dev interview will be coming here in a few days on February 5th, so I will more than likely do another recap of that, as long as it's not really the same type of stuff. If we get any new information, I will post up a video as soon as possible and let you guys know what I find. We'll be doing the rank 1 wizard grind yet again on February 6th, so I'm very excited for that. I will see you guys on the leaderboard, and good luck in your future adventures.